Hi guys, it's Emily from Novelle Novels and welcome to today's video. This is a Jane Austen Heroes book tag. Now I was tagged in this ages ago by the lovely Tia from Tia and all her books, and I'm finally doing it. Yes, it's a Monday evening. Yes, it's dark. I hope you're okay with it all. But it's lovely to see you all. Lovely to film again as always. Anyway, let's get enough rambling. Should I talk about the prompts? And I found it really hard today because I wanted to do answers that I wouldn't necessarily... Obviously, the first answer to most of these books are the books that I've just read, but I don't want to give you too many spoilers for my wrap-up. And answers that I don't always want to say the same answers to every single tag. So there's one or two that I'm guessing you're going to predict. But let's hope I'm not too predictable and boring. Let's go for it, shall I? So the first prompt is, Mr. Darcy, pick a book you thought you wouldn't like but ended up loving. I'm actually going to go with Northern Lights because I didn't like the film The Golden Compass. But when my uncle gave me this series of books, the Dark Materials, first book, and I must admit it got me hooked. Obviously, so I'm going to say that is a book because admittedly I didn't love it as much as I loved the second and third in the series, but I loved it a lot more than I loved the film The Golden Compass, and I really enjoyed it. Got into Lyra's world. Found it thrilling, exciting. I didn't know what was going on. It was brilliant. It's a book that I really thoroughly enjoyed, and it's one that I can't wait to reread the series at some point. It's actually a series of books that I think I'm definitely going to reread. So that's my answer for this one. You guys might have been surprised by this one. That's my prompt. Mr. Collins, pick a book you said nope to and DNF. Sneaky peek to my wrap up. I did it. I DNF'd Oryx and Craig. Sorry, Scott and Nell. Didn't like it. Read about a few chapters, and it was like, I can't do this. It's not the right. I'm not the right kind of reader for Margaret Atwood's books. She's just not for me. It's not that I've got anything against it. Not that I've got anything against her writing. It's just not the kind of literature for me. So yes, I DNF'd it. Sorry, guys. Mr. Knightley. Pick a childhood... No. Wickham. I'm sorry. Give you a sneaky peek to what... Wickham. Pick a book with a misleading cover. Another sneaky peek to my wrap-up. This is a book that I'm currently reading at bedtime. Flora and Grace by Maureen Lee. It's an extra book on my TBR. From this cover, you would think it's about two girls, mainly post-war, and about a friendship. It's not. It's about one girl, Flora, who at the start of this is only about 17, and she is in Switzerland, and there is a train that goes past. This is about war sort of time. There's a train that goes past where she is, and a woman on it hands her a baby and she says, his name is Simon, take him, his name is Simon. And she's 17 and she doesn't know where this train is going. She thinks the way they were speaking that things are not right, but she thinks this child is designated, it's like almost like a gift from God, not in that sort of way, but a gift from God, that she has to look after this child, and it's hers, he's hers, and she's one that she's got to then take responsibility for. And it's about them, and it's about Flora's journey. You don't actually meet Grace, I don't think, ever, and you don't hear about her until at least halfway through this book. So yes, Grace's story we get to find out halfway through, but it's not really about that. It's certainly not about their friendship. It's about how their lives are interlinked, and you find out about Grace at a later date. I'm not going to tell you too much. So this cover really did mislead me because I thought it was about friendship. It isn't. It's about two very different women and how their lives are linked. It's still a good book. Still actually one I'm really enjoying, and I can't wait to finish it tonight that I'm filming. Next one, Mr. Knightley. Pick a childhood favourite that stuck with you through thick and thin. Sorry, my sister Charlie. Had to say this, the BFG. This is a book that I will pick up over and over again. I know people say Roald Dahl is problematic, but to me, this book reminds me of my sister because she's my big friendly giant who I love with all my heart. It reminds me of childhood. It reminds me of this big guy who's not what he seems, and who looks at this giant who looks after Sophie. And oh, if you haven't read the BFG, read it. It's one of the best books ever, and I love this book. It takes me back to my childhood. It takes me back to a time when I was innocent, and I love it. And it's one, yes, my With my eldest Mia, she loves it, and it's such a good book, and it will always make me think of my sister. And yes, I'm cruel when I say she's my giant, but she's over 6 foot, so she's my big friendly giant. So this is a book for me. Next one is Edward Ferrars. I can't say that name right. Pick a book that keeps coming back to your mind over and over again and you can't stop thinking about. You guys knew I was going to say this one. It was either this one or The Familiars, The 13th Tale. I love this book. It was a book I read last year. I think it's one of my favourite or second favourite book of the whole year. It will over and over again, this house, this image, this darkness in this book. I cannot stop thinking about this book. I cannot stop loving it. It was one of the best books of last year. And it was so not what I expected to be love, but it's so one that will never ever leave my mind. This is down to Tom and Katie that I read this. And I will forever owe them because it was just literally one of the best books I've ever read. And I loved it, loved it, loved it. There you go. So that was the one you definitely would have predicted. Next one, Willoughby. Pick a book that sounds good but ended up disappointing you. It is a Leanne Moriarty book, My Husband's Secret. I loved Leanne Moriarty. I've loved all of the Leanne Moriarty books. I've still got one of hers to read, which is 3 Wishes, which I'll be reading with Gaia at some point. But I thought this had so much potential. I thought I was going to love it. I bloody read it in December with a friend, with Amy, and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. It could have had so much. The Husband's Secret, a secret, and it could have been really mysterious, and it could have just done so many things, and it just didn't. I did read it on audio, but listened to it on audiobook, and I DNF'd it, but it had so much potential when I reread it. At the start of it, I thought, this could be really good, but it wasn't. There is some more answers for this, but I can't tell you the other answers that I would say in this book without giving you more spoilers for my wrap-up. But this was one of the disappointing books, I think. I'm keeping it, but I don't know if I should keep it. I think I might. Actually, I think I'm going to give it away. I think you're right. Do you know what? Thinking about this, I'm not going to reread it. Let me just go get back to the charity shop. I don't need the space on my shelf. I'm going to be strict with myself. I can do this. Now, last prompt is Captain Wentworth. Pick an underrated book that deserves more love. Now, I could list all of Charlie from Charles Heathcote's books. You know you've got to go and get them. If I haven't read them out them enough. So yeah, of course I'm going to say Our Doris and the lovely is all his other books. I've got An Heir to Murder. I'm going to say them. Just I'm not going to show them. But I'm also going to say another book because I can't just promote Charlie all the time. Although, like I said, I'm still going to link him down below. Another book that I read last year that needs to be hyped up more. It was on the Goodreads Awards anyway, but Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Byron. This book I won in a giveaway. No, I got in a read-along, sorry, by Tandem. I love Tandem. Tandem read-alongs are the best. Thank you guys, Tandem, you're brilliant. But I got this in a read-along, and I already wanted to read it because Clint from Reads Readers loved it. And this is one of my favourite retellings. Obviously, you guys know my favourite retelling is obviously A Curse of Dark and Lonely. But this is probably my second favourite, and it was about 200 years since Cinderella found her prince, but the fairy tale is over. Sophia knows that the story from long off, because every girl has to recite it daily, from when she's tiny till the night she's sent to the royal ball for choosing. Every girl knows that she only has one chance to be chosen by a man at the ball, or at forfeit. But Sophia doesn't want to be chosen. She doesn't want to go to the ball at all. Not when she is afraid that the girl she loves might be chosen too. This was exceptional. It had the LGBTQ plus romance that is friggin' amazing. It had the women fighting back. I loved this book from the bottom of my heart last year, and it was one of my favourites. It's an underrated book. It needs to be on everyone. If you like YA, if you like fairy tale retellings, pick this up. It is amazing. I loved it. Now I've got to tag some people. I haven't put his name on here, but seeing as I already spoke about him, and I'm going to link his channel anyway, Charlie, I'm going to tag you to it. I know you're not a Jane Austen fan, but I still think you could be quite fun. I think this could be hilarious to see what you did say on this one. I fancy it. Fancy seeing what you're going to do for this. Then I'm going to go with another friend, Tori, because I think you would love this, Tori, from Hufflepuff Discovery. She would be good. Then I'm going to tag one of my booktuber besties, Gemma from Read a Book Gem. She's new. She's getting into Austen. She said to me she's only started reading on Austen last year, But she is getting into Austen, so I think you would be quite fun at doing this, Gemma. And then lastly, someone I don't know if you'll do this, Leo, but Leo from A Little Book Live. I think he could be fun doing it. Give it a different spin on it. Never heard you talk about Jane Austen, but I think for these answers you could give some quite nice answers for the prompts. And anyway, if I haven't tagged you and you want to do it, let me know. Tag me in it, whatever. I'd love to see you do it. It's going to be quite a fun one. Did enjoy this. Nice, quick and easy tag video to put on online. So thank you, Tia, for tagging me in this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you lovely people soon.